A man is dying. No doctor can explain his illness. His family searches everywhere. Hospitals, specialists, prayers, nothing works. His body weakens, but something stranger happens. He begins to feel, called, not to life, but to someone. At first it is subtle, like a whisper inside his chest. Then it becomes constant. He starts turning his head toward empty corners, as if someone is standing there. At night, he wakes up unable to breathe properly. But the moment he looks toward the window, the pressure disappears. The villagers notice changes. Animals avoid the healer's area. Milk spoils near her home. Even the wind feels heavier around her presence. Unnatural, silent. Birds refuse to sing when she walks by. The morning dew near her doorstep turns gray before sunrise, and those who pass too close feel a sudden chill, not in their skin, but somewhere deeper, as if their own heartbeat slows down for just one breath, remembering something the mind has long forgotten. Children cry when she passes, not fear exactly, but as if they recognize something they should not. Their tiny hands reach toward nothing, or perhaps toward something only they can see. One child whispers a name no adult has ever spoken in that village. And later, when asked why they cried, they simply say, "She smelled like goodbye." A priest warns, "That woman is not healing him. She is binding him." He attempts a blessing outside her home, but mid-prayer, his voice disappears completely. The priest's lips still move, but no sound comes out. When he steps back in fear, he realizes something worse. He has forgotten the last line of his prayer. One day, she tries to leave suddenly. The man collapses again, worse than before. Doctors confirm there is no natural disease. It reacts to emotional distance. His heart does not fail from weakness. It fails from distance, like a flower pulled from its only soil. The machines beep erratically, but no medicine brings relief. One nurse whispers, "It is as if his soul knows she is gone before his mind does." And when she returns hours later, without a word, without a touch, his breathing steadies instantly, as if her presence alone is the only oxygen his body understands. She understands his life is now tied to her presence, not by medicine, but by something far older than fate. No spell she knows has ever worked backward like this. No curse. She studied spoke of a chain that binds both ends. She looks at her own hands, the same hands that once commanded shadows, and for the first time, she feels not like a creator, but like a prisoner inside her own design, and somewhere in the silence between her heartbeats, she hears a truth too terrible to whisper. This bond was never her choice either. She finally reveals more. He was the only human whose soul did not fear her. She remembers the first time she saw him. He did not look away. That moment disturbed her more than any curse she had ever cast. And when she first marked him, his body reacted violently for 1 second, like rejecting existence itself, before stabilizing again. Others had always turned their faces, covered their children, whispered prayers to ward her off. But he stood still, not brave, not foolish, just present, as if he had been waiting for her without knowing it. When her power first touched his skin, his bones trembled like a tree struck by lightning, a single, silent scream passing through his flesh without escaping his lips. Then, just as suddenly, peace, not acceptance, something stranger, recognition. And in that 1 second of violent refusal, she felt something she had never felt before. Not control, not satisfaction, but fear. Fear that she had finally met a soul she could not fully break. Now she says, "I created a bond and became trapped inside it myself." A curse she designed. That now has no master. Her voice does not tremble. That would be too human. Instead, it hollows, as if the words are being spoken from the bottom of a dry well. She laughs once, softly, bitterly, the spider caught in its own web. She looks at the man lying weak before her, then at her own fading reflection in a dark window. "I wanted to own a soul," she whispers, "but instead, I gave mine away without permission." And for the first time in centuries, she does not know how to pray because the one she once answered to is now lying in that bed, breathing softly, completely unaware that he has become her god. She explains fully. If she stays, she slowly becomes human. If she leaves, he dies instantly. If he loves her fully, both will die together. A heavy silence falls, thick enough to suffocate time itself. Then she whispers, "Love is not saving you, it is consuming both of us." And for the first time, even she sounds afraid of what she created. Her fingers hover above his chest but do not touch him, as if even that small contact would feed a fire she can no longer control. "I have walked through graveyards at midnight," she says, her voice barely a breath. "I have spoken to things that have no names, but this hunger to stay near you, it is sweeter than any poison and just as final." She closes her eyes, and for one moment, just one, a single tear escapes down her cheek. Not from sadness, from awe, because she now understands she did not invent the curse. The curse invented her. And love was always the oldest, darkest magic. And when she opens her eyes again, they are no longer the eyes of a sorceress. They are the eyes of someone already disappearing into someone else. She tries to break the curse herself, performs a ritual under a blood-red moon. During the ritual, symbols begin forming in the air without her control. The mirror beside her shows something impossible. She is standing still, but her reflection is smiling differently. And in that reflection, she sees herself already human. The ritual collapses not because it fails, but because something refuses to let it end. Instead, her powers weaken further. He becomes stronger emotionally tied to her. The bond is now reversing, pulling her into mortality. She tries to summon even a small flame in her palm. Nothing, just cold skin and a strange, unfamiliar warmth spreading through her veins like morning after a long night. She realizes with quiet horror, she can now feel hunger, thirst, the need to sleep. Small human things she once mocked. Meanwhile, he sits up in bed for the first time in weeks, not because of medicine, but because somewhere inside him, a new strength is growing, fed by her fading light. He looks at her and says softly, "You are becoming beautiful," in a way I can finally recognize. And she understands the cruel poetry of the curse. She is no longer pulling him down into darkness. He is pulling her up into death, the one place where immortals truly cease to exist. She tells him everything. As she speaks, her voice becomes unstable, as if part of her is already disappearing. He listens quietly, but the strange part is, he is not surprised. He answers calmly, "Then don't leave me, even if it kills us." And for a second, her dying power stops reacting, as if his acceptance is stabilizing the curse. She expects him to rage, to weep, to beg for escape. Instead, he reaches out with trembling fingers and touches her cheek, a gesture so gentle it breaks something inside her that no curse ever could. "You think I didn't know," he whispers. "The night you first marked me, I dreamed of you every night since. Not as a monster, as someone lost." Her fading magic flickers once, not with destruction, but with something softer, something ancient and forgotten. Peace. For one breath, the air between them is not heavy with doom, but light with belonging, as if the universe itself pauses to witness two broken things fitting perfectly together. And in that second, she realizes the curse never wanted blood. It wanted surrender. And now that they have given themselves to each other completely, even darkness does not know what to do next. She becomes fully human. She dies in his arms, and he follows Not from illness anymore, but because his existence was never independent of her. 2 lives, collapsing into one final breath. Her skin grows warm, not with fever, but with the simple, fragile warmth of mortality. For the first time, she feels the sun on her face without it burning her. She smiles, confused and peaceful, like a child seeing light for the first time. So this is what it feels like, she whispers, to be real. He holds her closer, not fighting what comes, not begging for more time. His heartbeat slows to match hers, 2 drums becoming one rhythm, then silence. No pain, no fear, just the soft falling of 2 souls too deeply tangled to ever be separated again. And when the morning comes, the villagers find them still embraced, her head on his chest, his lips against her hair. No sign of curse, no sign of magic. Only 2 bodies smiling faintly as if death itself had arrived not as an enemy, but as a long-awaited friend. And after she was gone, the illness never returned, but neither did he live again, because some lives are not healed, they are only balanced by love. And when that balance breaks, even miracles fall silent. The world forgets them, but the curse does not. Years later, travelers passing through that village notice nothing strange, only an old, crumbling house where wildflowers grow in places flowers should not grow. Children dare each other to touch the door, but no one stays long. Something in the air feels watched, not with anger, with patience. The curse does not rage, it does not scream. It simply waits, coiled like a sleeping serpent beneath the earth, for another pair of souls foolish and brave enough to love each other into destruction. And sometimes, on quiet nights when the moon hangs low and red, villagers swear they see 2 shadows standing near that house, not moving, not speaking, just holding hands, watching, remembering. Because even a curse that feeds on love cannot help but mourn when true love finally rests. If this story touched something within you, don't let it disappear into silence. Like the video, if you believe love can be both curse and salvation, share it so someone else feels this story too. And subscribe, because some stories are not just told, they are remembered together. And perhaps they are waiting to begin again.